Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more.
Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had tried to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here for evermore.
Thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. And now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more."
In the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain, presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more."
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Nearly this and nothing more.
Then into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon I heard again a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," I said, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereout is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more."
Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obstance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mind of lord or lady, perched upon my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more.
Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, "Though thy crest is shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore."
Much I marveled this ungainly fowl, to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no sublunary being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore.
But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that word he shall abhor. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before," till my hopes have flown before, and my sorrows have thrown before. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore."
Startled at the silence broken, from replies so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whose unmerciful disaster followed faster, until his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy bore of never, nevermore.
But the raven still beguiling all my soul into smiling. Straight I wheeled cushioned seat in front of bird, busts, and door. Upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking, fancy into fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, and gone, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking nevermore.
This I sat, engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease, reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er. whose velvet violet lining, with that lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfume from an unseen censer, swung by angels, whose faint footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, and by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Let me quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate, yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore. Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a saint and maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn, it should clasp a saint and maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
再说这个字就赶你走，恶鸟！我颤抖着高声尖叫，赶你回到暴风中，送你回到冥冥世界的奈何旧地，别留下任何黑色的羽毛，它会有你的阴魂恶兆，请用它来打扰我的清静，快从我房门的雕像上消失，我的心容不下你的尖嘴，快从我的房门消失，乌鸦答曰，永不复焉。
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from my heart, and take thy form from off my door, quoth the raven, nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming. And the lamplight over him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted, nevermore.